All righty, everybody, here we go. I'm with April and Tanya out of Florida. They're enjoying the heat, and I'm going to ask them to each introduce themselves and talk about their loved ones and what they're doing next. Like I said, April, you get to go first. It's my birthday month, and alphabetically, you get to go first. So thank you guys for being here.
All right, thank you. Um, my name's April Kristy Smith, and I lost my cousin Mark. Can you see him?
Got it.
All right. In April of 2017. After that, I lost my baby boy, James, who just had a birthday on the 11th of August, by the way. Um, in March of 2021. After that, I lost my daughter Alexis November 13th. I don't know if I can you see her? Okay. Um of 2021. Less than 2 weeks later, my baby brother Randy in 2021, November 1st. I mean December 1st. And then I lost my son Thomas, my oldest child and my oldest son. Uh August 6th of 2023. All the boys were fentanyl poisoning, and my daughter in a car accident less than 24 hours after getting out of rehab. She was sober, by the way. It wasn't her fault. Somebody hit her from behind.
That's the story that I remember at the waterfalls, and I tell it all the time. How you're even sitting here, I don't get it. I don't. And it's,
God has a purpose for me.
um,
Mind you, if you rewind, I was an addict up until 2011 on crack, and God took the taste out of my mouth. Rehab didn't work for me. AA meetings made me relapse. I'm not against any of those because they work for some people, but they don't work for everybody. And anyway, I've been clean since 2011. And
congratulations.
I think I went through that so that I could understand what my kids were going through when two of them came to me with their, addiction problem. Um, my brother was an alcoholic. He died from fentanyl and alcohol toxicity. James did a little meth because he had ADHD. He died of meth, morphine, and fentanyl toxicity. My cousin Mark was a heroin addict. He died from um, fentanyl. And my son was had a back problems. He was addicted to pain pills. They took the pain pills away, I should say. And the same guy that sold him the fentanyl that killed him had got him addicted to heroin earlier on. So he thought he was on heroin the whole time, but I kept trying to tell him, you already lost a brother, uncle to fentanyl, cousin. It's fentanyl. No heroin out there anymore. But yeah, he was clean for a while. That's why he died when he used again, relapsed.
So his tolerance level went to nothing, got clean,
They,
and went,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a big problem with people getting out of jail and relapsing, dying, or people in jail get a hold of some and die. Every day there's people dying in jail to fentanyl poisoning and other things.
Well, I'm
Um,
actually working with Dallas County, and I was talking to a judge there because I'm glad you brought that up. Is in Texas right now, when you're on, if you get charged with a whatever drug possession, whatever, they put you on probation. But probation, when they do the UAs or the testing, they're not testing for fentanyl. So if you're using 100% fentanyl pills, and and then so it's just ridiculous.
yeah,
But there are so many people at the waterfalls that were clean and sober. Some of them using 20, 30 fentanyl pills a
yeah,
day, got clean, went and used one pill, and
yeah.
bam, they're gone. So it's
I I I knew. I told him. I was like, you can do this. You know, I've been clean since 2011. I really didn't think he would relapse. I told him if you use again, it's going to kill you.
Yeah,
They're doing nothing but fentanyl. He asked for purple heroin and got pure fentanyl.
your fentanyl.
He, he had nothing else in his system.
Well,
Yeah,
I just
but
thank you for even being here, sitting here. I mean, I
after that, I just felt like I didn't have anything left to fight for. So I started reaching out on Facebook to, whoever I could and different groups. I think I got into the drug induced homicide group for a while. Um, and then appalled with Diane Urban, who I actually have held a few events for her. That was my first event. I kind of was just like, I want to meet people around here. I don't want to be by myself. I lost too much. Something's got to be done about this. My family doesn't really like to talk about it, and it's happening too much, and they don't care. The police don't care. The drug, when they go um to the morgue or whatever, when they're doing the autopsies and stuff, they don't even push that issue unless you're calling about it. I had to find out the hard way. It took like 16 months to get JJ's results back. And I already had Lexus's and my brother's back before I got my son's. And he died like months before them. And after that, I had caught on. I'm like, really? I got to keep calling? It's like, y'all really don't think anybody cares? Like, people are sitting at home expecting you to call them, and you're just doing your job. And it might take a little bit, but if we're not calling, we're not concerned. What are you kidding me?
you,
So
you brought
I
up a
had to
good,
speak up, and that's how I met Tanya and other women in the area. And we just were doing events out of pocket, meeting together and just so we wouldn't feel alone. And I'm a sister, I'm a cousin, I'm a mom that lost people. I can feel it from every angle, and I can tell you that it all hurts the same. So the siblings are hurting the same. The cousins, the moms, the dads, the nieces and nephews. Like my grandkids miss their uncles, Like it affects everybody, and there's less and less people that I'm running into that aren't affected because more and more people are being affected by it, and it's sad. And if we're not out there handing out Narcan or educating people about it, and I'm just sitting at home, I probably wouldn't be okay right now. I day and night I'm on my phone. People in Tennessee or California or Texas, how do I get Narcan, or how do I get, I'm not holding it a secret. I'm looking it up for people. I'm to give it out. I'm like, come get this. I'm not charging nobody for this. I'm like, just meet me. Come get it. Come pick it up. Where can we put it? How much do you need? Let me know if you need more. They're thanking me. I'm like, no, thank you. You're saving lives too. It's a group effort. No one person can do it by themselves.
you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I spoke to a mother earlier, and she brought up the situation that I've heard a million times is nobody's talking about it except us. And she mentioned, and I've heard it a million times, the police came to my house when my son or daughter died, and one of the officers would say, it sounds like one of these fentanyl things. And every parent was like, what is this fentanyl thing? The police aren't out there to promote what's going on. The attorneys are not, or the prosecutors are not. It's us. We're it. And I don't disclose anything. I've worked with DEA, U.S. attorneys, and everything, but it is our focus to get out there. And if it's not for people like us talking every day to somebody, then, and that's my goal. I always tell people one person a day, if you can talk to somebody, it might save a life. And it's, the stigma and shame, I won't get into that again, but it's it's sad. And I just I don't get it, but you mentioned you run into somebody, everybody knows about it. John Hopkins University did a study last year that 1 in 3 people know of somebody that has been affected by an overdose. And we know the overdoses now are a lot of it is fentanyl. And so everybody's been touched by it. We just,
Yeah, it's more than just fentanyl, though. It's the fentanyl, carfentanil, xylazine, all this poison
yeah,
that people are labeling as drugs and drug addicts when they're literally being poisoned to death, whether they're an addict of a pill or weed or alcohol, they're being poisoned to death by fentanyl. And even the people that are using fentanyl with, where they started out on a pill or heroin, that wasn't by choice either because they got tricked
that
into
was,
using fentanyl to begin with when they changed it over from heroin. Oh, y'all took away their opioids? Well, let's flood your country with heroin. Oh, y'all want to, people getting in trouble for heroin. Oh, heroin ain't killing nobody anymore. Let's send over some fentanyl.
well, that was the
That
cartel's
like
reason.
it's a silent war against our country. And that's what most 99.9% of people don't understand is that it's being put in fucking candy at daycares. It's being put in water bottles out at the dang concerts in Colorado. It is, it's being put in the vape pens. People get off the street. It's horrific. It's horrific.
Marijuana,
It isn't just a drug addict problem. It's
And every
people
time we come up with a
overdosing on
solution,
too
they
much of
put
their
out
own.
something else.
Do what?
Every time we come up with a solution, they put out with something else. Like now we have Narcan to help with the
Yeah,
fentanyl.
xylazine, Narcan don't help that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So every
Yeah,
time we come up with a way to help solve the problem, they put something else out there to poison our
yeah,
people.
the 20 new nitazines, from what I understand, they're 3 stimulants away from being an opioid, so Narcan doesn't work. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Right.
And I know it's in marijuana. I've got a friend in Vermont that 99, he said 99% of the fentanyl deaths in Vermont are marijuana laced fentanyl.
yeah.
Everybody needs to get a card.
Yeah.
But every state doesn't legalize marijuana medically either. And that's a shame because people are getting it off the street in those states and risking their lives. I was one of those people. I use it for pain. I have my card now. I
Yeah.
live in another state where I can get my card, but I use it for pain because I don't want to use um
Opioids.
opioids. They scare me,
Well, what
Not
I,
that I've used them and they take away the pain, but when the pain comes back, it's like 100 times worse. So that's how you become dependent on it,
yeah.
So I'm better off to either just stick with my pain that I have, which is horrific, or uh, you know, I use the cream
Yeah.
on me. The weed cream works, there's other ways besides using opioids.
Well, from what I understand on the marijuana side, and I can't prove this, I've just been told by HSI and some DEA, a lot of the cartel will actually take their money and you can't put it in Bank of America and deposit it. So they run it through shell corporations. Some of these shell corporations are buying up the legal dispensaries. And I know just from the guy that works on my bike, he lived in Humboldt County, Murder Mountain, with fentanyl or with marijuana, and he was run out by the cartel. And when you own a legal dispensary, you make that much profit because of all the fees and licenses. So they still have to sell it illegally on the side. And that's when some of these shell companies are now dipping the marijuana in liquid fentanyl. That's what I've heard. I can't prove it, but that's what I've heard. Which, like Texas, it's illegal. So the people in Texas go up to Oklahoma, buy the marijuana, come back, bam, smoke pot, dead. And
So you're saying that the ones coming from the dispensaries have it too, or just the stuff they're selling on the side on the streets?
well, they have to sell it illegally on the side to make a profit.
Okay.
Illegal
I just
dispensary. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I keep
depends.
telling everybody in Florida, if you're going to smoke pot, get your card because it's safer. But if that's
Yeah, if you're getting it from the dispensary, I think it's okay. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know, but they still have to sell it illegally on the side.
not
that,
those tobacco stores.
Yeah.
That's where they're finding the fake stuff at.
Yeah. And marijuana, I smoked it probably 3 times in my life, and I don't think of marijuana as being an addictive drug at all. That's just my opinion. But how do you make it addictive? Fentanyl. You know,
Right.
so that's my opinion. But
and it just depends on the person. So.
yeah, exactly. And the vape pens, I know that where Preston went to high school 2 years ago, a girl was arrested at his high school. Vape pens are now banned from high school, and they tested it, it had THC in it, and they also tested it, had fentanyl in there.
A
And
boy,
I'm not saying that the legal vape shops sell it, but when the
uh-uh.
kids buy it online because they're not of age, that's where it's coming from. So,
A boy at Cocoa Beach High School overdosed. Thank God they had Narcan at the school. It saved his life. He didn't die from it, but yeah, it was fentanyl
yeah,
in the vape pen.
no. Well, Tanya, let me go to you now. Introduce yourself and Drew.
Hi, my name is Tanya. My son Drew died at 29 from a Xanax laced with fentanyl. He was left to die. This is picture. Sweet boy. He had suffered many years of addiction. He always wanted to help people. He was a great person, do anything for anybody. Just couldn't beat it. Just couldn't beat it. The detectives basically told me, "What do you want us to do? Your son's an addict." So I made phone call after phone call, got ignored, got ignored, got ignored. Finally, got into it with the detective who basically blew me off. We knew who did it. He said eventually he'll get arrested for something. Not proud of what I said to the detective, but I told him I hope he rotted in hell because he didn't care about helping my child. But that's a grieving mom who was completely distraught from getting a phone call saying Drew's gone. What do you mean Drew's gone? Where did Drew go? And realizing that Drew was gone. Um, Detectives are busy. They don't want to help. Drew died in Cocoa, Florida. Brevard County a couple of years ago was the highest fentanyl overdose rate in the state, which when you think about Miami, Jacksonville, and all of those big cities, Brevard County is not a big city. We don't have Orlando or any of that. We're a little beach town, little beach county along the coast where the rockets take off. So the fact that we had the most death from fentanyl is pretty scary. So in defense, because I do stand on the blue line with our officers, I think they do a hell of a job the majority of the time. I think they need maybe not training on how to talk to the parents, maybe some more help, you know. And I was going to mention this to April later, but maybe that's where some of us can come in, you know. Apparently the officers, they're seeing it every day. They're desensitized. They're absolutely 100% desensitized. When they talk to a parent, it's like so cold, so, we don't, you feel like nobody cares. So maybe that's what we need. Maybe one of our foundations can start a group where, the sheriff's department calls and says, hey, these people lost somebody. They gave permission for us to give you the number so you can go over and have a conversation with them and maybe talk to them for the next couple of days and help them get through that first week is insane. You don't breathe, you don't eat, you don't sleep, you do nothing. So maybe that's something that we need.
I'll stop you right there because we actually do that at Texas Against Fentanyl. So we actually it's called like the Texas Against Fentanyl Task Force. So we give it to
Okay.
law enforcement, and I'll send you guys the flyers. So
Okay.
basically, if you walk in and find your child or somebody dead, the police are going to walk in and say, sounds like a fentanyl issue. And they're like, well, what are you talking about? Well, here's a number to call somebody that knows what they're talking
Oh,
about.
that's great. That's kind of where I was going with
Yeah.
this.
No, I think
Well,
that's
already emailing sheriff's department here about a few things that
every
I
law
have to
enforcement
tell you
officer.
about Tanya, but yeah. So
Every
I think that's a great idea.
every law enforcement officer says the same thing. We'll never arrest our way out of this, and every prosecutor says we'll never prosecute our way out of this. We need the
No.
families out there. And
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, police
And
officers aren't trained for that. Just like
I mean,
doctors aren't trained to deal with addiction sometimes. So
we were the generation that grew up just say no to drugs, right?
yeah,
So our kids aren't seeing that anymore. And I'm not saying that even helped because the drugs are so different. And like we all tried pot. It wasn't my thing. I didn't like the feeling. Just like I don't like being drunk. I don't like that feeling. It's a personal thing. But I don't recall having so many addicts and so many people die when we were growing up.
yeah,
Did the just say no to drugs work, or we know things were different, but maybe we just need a national program again where it's in their faces constantly. They're on social media, they're getting depressed because everybody on social media is beautiful and has this great life. I mean, we've already got teenage girls committing suicide at exponential rates. And maybe a lot of these people are taking drugs because now we feel terrible about ourselves as a human, right? They're kids, their brains aren't fully developed. I mean, there's a lot to it. My whole goal was that when I started the Drews Foundation, when I met April, um, I wanted to have a place. He was dual diagnosis, he was depressed. And instead of getting help, he self-medicate, and that's what a lot of addicts do. And I wanted to have a place for them to go. And like I said in my video on YouTube, I could break my arm, sprain my ankle. I've got, well, four now, we used to have five, four hospitals within 10 minutes of my house. I can go get that fixed. But if I have a mental issue, nervous breakdown, have a panic attack, have an anxiety attack, there's no place for me to go except circles, and good luck getting in there 3 4 months from now. So I really 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 just feel like we need places where they can go and maybe not stay, but just some place for them to go in that moment, to have somebody to talk to. And I would love to make it an inpatient thing, dual diagnosis center, because you can't put somebody on anti-anxiety medication and think 30 to 45 days per health insurance is going to fix the problem, because it takes 6 to 8 weeks for anti-anxiety medication to actually work in your body. It takes, you were in that field, so the first 2 weeks are worse than withdrawal from medication because it's messing with your inner system. So you actually feel worse before you feel better. So now we're putting them back out on the street feeling worse.
yeah.
And normal human nature is like, well, I'm not doing this. I felt better on drugs, right? So I think they need to be in there for 90 days so we can get them on these medications, our dual diagnosis kids, which most of them really truly are at this point. Unfortunately, we live in a society where everybody has anxiety. Cool, take the food coloring out of the food, whatever your reasoning for it is. It's a fact of life at this point. We need to either get the insurance companies to let them stay in rehabs longer and start getting rehabs to start, being able to prescribe them these things. I just want them to have a place to go. That's all I want. I don't want to see another child suffer where he can't get into an appointment to get his refills, buy it off the streets, and die from it.
Yeah.
I think that's horrible.
That's
Absolutely horrible.
well, that's the sad thing, even with pharmaceutical companies. You can't turn on a TV without a drug that'll fix everything. And everybody,
Well, and I don't think we should have alcohol commercials either, but that's a story for another day.
well, if you drink alcohol, everybody's sexy on the beach. That's what happens when you drink alcohol. So
Yeah.
it's that's the truth. I mean, you don't see ugly people drinking a Corona on the beach. So it's
But that just goes back to what kids are seeing, right? Everybody's perfect.
oh
And
yeah.
when they look at themselves and they're not perfect, now we're creating a depressed society.
Well, I want to
So
get into the go ahead, April.
can I tell you what happened? Me and Tanya were leaving the opioid settlement funds meeting in our county about the opioid settlement funds that are coming out, so we could try to figure out how to actually get the Drew McGuire Foundation started off the ground, yada yada. And I was telling her that there was absolutely no way I could name a foundation the Drew McGuire Foundation because I have a Thomas James, Lexus, Randy, a whole bunch of people, and I would be leaving them out. So I had thought about if I had a group, I would name it Forever Angels of Brevard. And she was like, we can do that. And so what happened was she made Forever Angels of Brevard a DBA under Drew McGuire Foundation. So basically,
Because we
Tanya
were already a 501(c)(3. I already did all the work for it.
in March before we met in May. So it worked out really great. In December of the same year, 24, that's when all this happened. So, anyway, what we do is everything that the Forever Angels of Brevard does is basically events, raising awareness, giving out Narcan. I spend a lot of time on my phone educating people or helping them find out in their state how to do whatever, and anything to save lives, right? And we're placing Narcan stands throughout the county. We're having a little bit of problem with that, getting them in the libraries and places that are really needed because they're worried about getting sued. But we're going to get over that hump. So
The county gives them to you for free,
we've
but you can't put them there.
we've been placing them in other areas. I've been going around and places where other places that save lives, like um, complimentary contraceptives up in Cocoa. We put a stand up there last week. And, I thought, wow, we need to go by other places like Cedar Mission and da da da. So I went by, put a bug in their ear, and, hopefully we'll get them all throughout the county. But I also learned how to map them on Google Maps. We got one
Oh,
placed in Polk County this week. I'm going to put them all on Google Maps so people will know where to go get it. If they Google how to get naloxone or if they Google how to get Narcan, they will know because I'm going to put both of those words on there because some people don't even know what naloxone is. And I am placing Narcan in the stands, so it's appropriate.
can I make a
But
suggestion real quick? In Dallas, what we found out is most of the overdoses are happening in one certain place at the bus stops.
yeah, I know I'm working on that
That's where they're
too.
putting Narcan machines now. So,
Yeah, I don't know if they'll let us. The lady in Polk County has placed Narcan at some of the bus stops in her area, just sat it on the seats, strategically, just a couple boxes here and there, and going back and checking, and people are taking it. So she said, I'm going to keep going and doing that, until I can get permission to place one there. Um, but um, I don't know who to contact for that, but I am working closely with the county because the lady in the county that I'm working with was affected also. So I do have that on my side. Um, and Tanya works full time. So what we want to do is raise money for Drew McGuire Foundation, and we want to make it available, like she was saying, for people that even if they feel in a moment of relapse they don't want to relapse, but they're feeling like it, that they can go and come. And it's a relapse prevention place because too many places make you fail a drug test and
yeah.
people are
Well, they let
dying
you.
because they're going out to get a pill or this or that before they go into rehab so they can fail the drug test so the rehab will take them. I don't want it to be like that. I don't want people going
We
out
don't
and
want
dying.
them to have to use to get
Yeah,
help.
I
And
want
that's here in Texas too. Same thing. It's
so that's what we're trying to fill in the gaps. We want to work with the families that are affected and create some type of group where they can come and feel like they're, making a change or a difference in their child's name, what have you, and then they get educated a little more and they realize that they're not alone, and not to be ashamed or what have you. And then we're meeting other women that are so good at what they do too. Like we have a lady that's working in the education department for us, so maybe we can get in the schools. Me and Tanya want to go to the jail, so I mentioned that to the Brevard County Sheriff's Office when we went to the DEA summit, you know, and they like that idea. So it's a lot we're doing all at the same time without any funding, but we
We have
are working.
all these great ideas, but only two of us that are like constantly on it. But we have other people on the outside who have great ideas that are doing their thing. We're trying to bring it all together.
I think a
Yeah.
lot of us do that all over. But the
Yeah.
one thing I do want to actually follow up with you guys on is this thing about going to law enforcement and using us as a task force to call people. And I would love all
Right.
of us to get together and all across the
Yeah,
nation.
I think we should. I don't even care if it's somebody in another state. If they want to call me
Yeah,
on the phone, I can call them just so they have somebody. I'll video call them just
yeah,
so they have somebody they can cry to. That I don't know about you, all
I
both of
do that
you.
all day and all night.
I know, but
And
I don't know about either one of you, but I felt, other than one person that I know whose child passed away before mine, a different reason. When I was talking to people, everybody was saying the same thing. I don't know how you feel. I
yeah,
don't know how you feel. And you feel like then you're not being heard.
right.
And it's not that you're not being heard. It's just that nobody knows how you feel.
Yeah,
So I would like people to have somebody they can call the night it happens, the morning after, a couple days later, whatever, so that they can feel like they're being heard and somebody understands. That's what's great about this group of people that April and I have. We all understand each other. We come from all different backgrounds, all walks of life. We all have different jobs, but we all connect on the fact that and you, Mike, same thing. We can all connect on the fact that we understand, unfortunately, what nobody on this planet should ever understand. It's
and
just backwards.
it
And
gives
I
them
think
that out
people
because
have to know.
we know this as soon as we found out the news that our loved one died. You guys both mentioned you're in shock. You even said, Tanya, gone. I said that to my ex-wife. She called and said, Preston's gone. I said, well, gone where? And
That's what I said. Like, where'd he
and
go?
and so we're in that initial shock, and then a police officer says it's probably a fentanyl thing. At least maybe we can walk them through what's going to happen because you're not thinking of all the stuff that it's going to take 10
Exactly.
to 12 weeks for an autopsy and
Yeah.
toxicology. And because I had the first one here February of last year, a guy called me and he said, I got your number. And the cop said it was probably fentanyl. He lost his 16-year-old daughter and her best friend. He found them both in the bedroom.
No
And
way.
they thought it was fentanyl. And I'm sitting there talking with a DEA agent at a high school, and I got the autopsy back. It was ISO. It was one of the nitazines. And I looked at the DEA agent in Dallas and I said, have you seen that? He said, it's the first case we've had of that in North Texas. So, I mean, but at least giving them something because I know about fentanyl because I'm in the cancer industry. I knew what it's about. And I just, I thought, well, there's no way Preston would OD on fentanyl when I first started hearing about fentanyl.
it's
And
delicious fentanyl. There's a difference
yeah,
between the
yeah,
fentanyl
a
and
thousand
illicit
times stronger. Yeah,
Not medical
yeah.
grade.
So,
Drew's
at all.
fiance worked in she was she's is a cardiac nurse.
mm,
She's like, there is a
you know,
big
yeah,
difference. I give fentanyl to people all day long. It's not the same thing that Drew
yeah.
died from.
They dose it in micrograms, and
Yeah,
cartel doses it in milligrams. So,
yeah.
well,
But I just feel like there's something that, you know, you're in Texas, we're in Florida, there's people in California. April talks to people in Tennessee. I've talked to people in Nevada. I've talked to people in New Jersey, a lot of people that Drew went to school with. You got a school of a graduating class of 220 people, and 10 to 12 of them are dead.
yeah,
So I know a
Daughter
lot of moms,
got
huh?
sober. A lot of my daughter's friends got sober after she passed away.
good.
She
But
had
I
fentanyl,
think that as a whole, we should
and
all
then
be able to come together and help people
Well, I would
that
like
are
for
just
y'all.
having it happen.
I would love for y'all because now I'm thinking about this. I really want to maybe grab somebody from every state, different parts of
Great
the,
idea.
and then we just do this task force thing that we all go out there on the same mission and get with the law enforcement, sheriff's, whoever it is, because it needs to happen. We were in that position, and would
Yeah,
we have wanted it? Yeah, I think so. So
I agree.
I
I would have liked for somebody to know how I feel
yeah,
I always
because I
joke.
was yelling at God. And if one of my dearest friends didn't come in here and say this isn't God's fault, I probably would have still been mad at God. I mean, because that was my first reaction the next day.
Yeah.
once I realized what gone meant, I had no muscles in my body and hit the floor like a bag of potatoes, and I'm not proud of the things I said and did at that point, and I'm not proud of the next morning saying how much I hated God for taking my child, but that was my emotions. I'm sure he forgives me, but had my friend not come in here and said this isn't God's fault, I
It's
probably would have cursed him all day long.
it's that
Um,
righteous anger when Jesus flipped the tables at the temple. That's the way I tell myself. Yeah.
yeah, like, believe me, I've asked for forgiveness millions of times, and I'm sure he understood where I was coming from. He gave us those emotions, right? Um, I just feel like all parents should have somebody to talk to,
Yeah, exactly.
because
Not
that
just
moment that
it's
moment in time, bless April's heart. I have never in my life seen anybody work harder than that woman for a cause. And I can tell you, when we were out in the middle of the street stopping cars and handing out Narcan and people are screaming at us, she's in their faces. And one kid had the nerve to say to her, I like doing Narcan. You're gonna die. And she's throwing the Narcan at him. Or he likes doing fentanyl and she threw the Narcan at him. But we also, being out in the middle of the street, had people want it.
Yeah.
One kid, I handed it to one kid and he said Narcan saved his life a few years ago. He thinks it's great. He would have it in his car. But I will tell you, I've never seen a person, some might say she's crazy. I don't know. She stands in the middle of traffic and we're not talking little 2-lane roads. She's out there in the middle of major roads,
Well, quit that,
running
April. We
up and
need
down.
you.
She's got it going on. She's got
well,
more
it's
energy.
not anymore. We're gonna be at Harley Davidson. We got sponsors. We did our last event at the park. Um, yeah, at the beginning, I was angry and I wanted everybody to have Narcan. And I was on the median in the middle of the road at stoplight giving it out
I love
and
it.
had other people out there with me.
I
And
I
nobody,
have
no
pictures, Mike.
cop
You can see when you
said
come.
anything to me until the girl that probably rode by and said, I love fentanyl. And I said, you're gonna die because I cared, you know? Not wishing anything bad on her, but do you hear what you're saying? So,
Well, then we had the nurses too that wouldn't take it because they said we had no business being out there giving
Oh.
it out.
Well, I'm gonna round it up.
I am certified
So
narc
my
now, and I have my ladies certified through the state of Florida, and we're
it's my
certified
University of Florida, I think.
first we're certified first responders for naloxone. So we have been trained and we know how to use it and we are allowed to dispense it legally. I get it from DCS. I get the stands. I get CPR kits and a little keychain that come with gloves and a face mask so people don't get residue on them. Yeah, I'm utilizing whatever they have out there and it's free.
Good.
I'm not charging nobody for it. Yeah, because we just want people to
Not join our club.
not.
I just want to see Narcan in every single car and first aid kit in the United States.
Well, I am looking forward to meeting you guys in 2 weeks from Saturday, I think. Something like
Yeah.
that.
Geez, already?
Yeah.
Holy mo! I can't wait to meet your mom and your dog.
Oh yeah, they'll both be there. So y'all send me any pictures, anything you want. I'm gonna promote the event there, and as soon as you get them over to me, I'll put them all together. Anything about the Drew Foundation, send me a slide or whatever you have, anything, and we'll promote it. And thank you guys so much for everything. And I look forward to meeting you guys in 2 weeks.
And you're going to send us that information that you have for your sheriff's department so we can
Yeah,
start getting on
I'll get a
track.
flyer and I'm gonna take a picture of it and I'll send it to you guys each. But I think we ought
Okay,
to do a national campaign. And I think
I
if
agree.
DEA
I agree.
involved and all sheriff's offices, I think
I
that'd be
believe they have a sheriff's office annual event where all the sheriffs go.
yeah,
So we need to find out when that is, and we just need to go.
exactly.
I don't
Forever
care if
Age
we show up.
of America.
What's
We
that?
can show up outside.
There we
Forever
go.
Age of America.
Just don't get in the middle of the freeway, April. That's all I ask.
You'll see her on the 405 in California.
No, now I'm going to county meetings and placing my stands in places and going dropping off narcotics schools and visiting the jail, trying to get my stand up there. And yeah, so that's what I'm
You'll
doing
see
now.
April on the 405 during rush hour in California because the traffic stopped, and she'll be able to go car to car and have good conversations with everybody.
Or on the Beltway.
God bless you both, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, Mike, it was great. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.